Hola, Kinalito, aka Mahali Selepe, the girl that calls 4 countries home. Hello guys, how are you? Okay, so I just thought I'll do a mini thing because I had planned to share with you. I hope you guys are good and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, join the family by clicking that subscribe button. We are on 3K. Yes, we are. Mwah. Let us move along to 3.5 and to 4. Y'all know what I promised you for the 3K. Bring those questions, roll those questions. We're doing another Q&A. And yeah, I'm gonna try to be a bit more. I feel like I have a little less. What's the English? A little less stress than I have been having, and I could possibly manage to. Shall I turn off the car? I can manage to do a bit more videos. I just need to be a bit more organized. So I went to a book launch. I went to my ex's book launch. I wish I could have recorded this when it was fresh. This was 2 weeks ago. So I was invited by him. You guys need to buy the book and educate yourself. Very, very well researched. He started the book while he was still with me. So I know how much went into that book. He worked so hard on that book, and yeah, we used to talk about it all the time. It's really great, eye-opening stuff, but really empowering. African history information. It's very imperative, I think, for every African child to read that book. Not just African, but the Friends of Africa. That's the history that we do not know. It ended up being 3 books because it had quite a lot of content. So I will add the videos where he explains what the books contain. I'm not sure if that's what he actually explains. But the book, it's like your one-stop for everything African history. But then it ended up, it's divided in 3 books because the 3rd book is about where to from here, the vision that he has for Africa, how to rebuild, how to, so everyone who wants Africa great again, be on board, get on board. But for everybody else who just wants to know and learn and be educated about where life began. That's just me saying that. The book doesn't say that. Anyway, I feel I've said to him that I feel like this book should be in schools. It should be taught in schools. It's a great investment to have. It's a great investment to our nation, to our world. It's a great knowledge resource. So pre-order the book. I will attach his videos here. So basically, I think this is just the book promo. I think the only thing I can share is I didn't want to go because I wasn't sure what's going to happen. I was thinking, oh, will his girlfriend be there? But he invited me and I asked him. He said, no, I don't think she'll be there. I was like, okay, that may mean that she's actually in South Africa. She's not here. Or but I don't know. Surely he wouldn't invite me knowing the girlfriend is gonna be there. But yeah, no, it went really well. It's just an amazing vision. The kids were speaking. Of course, I was there taking the videos. So I'm gonna share with you that and just the excerpts. Is it excerpts? Anywho, the reading. Mahali and her dad did the readings of the book, and then I'll share that with you as well. So yeah, I just hope you enjoy this one and support the cause. Pre-order your books. Yebo, yebo, yebo. So I shall be off. I will do a vlog hopefully tomorrow. We're going to the African Awards. For African Community in Australia Awards. So I hope to vlog that. I don't like vlogging anymore, so I don't do vlog. I even forget about vlogging, but my life is so interesting. I'm doing so many exciting things and interesting things, really, but I don't vlog them because I'm not organized, yeah, but anywho, love you guys. Thank you for watching. Preparing for that Q&A and preparing for other video ideas. I'm gonna bring the kids on, and we're gonna come and just be on here, do some lighter videos. I'm gonna be a bit more organized, I promise you. But if I don't, it's the heart. What's in the heart, ne? My wish is to be more organized. So sometimes life just happens. So love you guys, but remember that God loves you even more, and that is true. Ciao, ciao.
Hello, people. I have got some exciting news to share with you. Look, a new African is upon us. He comes as a trilogy of 1, 2, 3 books. The first one is called New African, the foreword there by Professor Tawana Coupe from Pretoria University, and the second one is this big one here, and the foreword is by Mr. Donald Brown from UK, and the third one is by Pearl Proud. My goodness. It's a beautiful book. Let me orientate you around this one over here. Chapter 1. Book 1. It's a beautiful book. It's well finished. At the back it gives you a synopsis of the book and about who I am. Township Press have done a great work on the book, well researched, well referenced, exciting book. This is like your investigative journalism at work, evidence-based literature. Township Press have done a great work, man. The contents are amazing. It's amazing. It's breathtaking. I'm going to read just a paragraph for you. The chapter on African privilege from page 45. Page 45 of book 1. And it says, if we inculcate Ubuntu culture in our world, we can change the narrative. African privilege is interactive and dynamic. It seeks to draw all of us to a better way of living and to a better space. It is an alternative to the current economic status quo, where we have become so engrossed in the rat race. African privilege is the reason why Europe, America, and China have desperately sought to secure their stakes in Africa in the first place. African exploitation by both imperialists and the corrupt African leaders is because of the African privilege. The scramble for Africa was possible because of the African privilege. This African privilege is what Africans and the whole world need to move towards a better world and a better future. So to reiterate the profound words of Nkrumah, I am not an African because I was born in Africa. but because Africa was born in me. For Africa to be born in a person, they need a paradigm shift in terms of values and outlook. Ubuntu is that change of heart from self to other, from novelty to African values. It is a way of life that invites all of us from the four corners of the earth to be better global citizens, citizens sensitive to the plight of others. African privilege, therefore, is epitomized through Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a side of the global value equation that is desperate for our investment, focus, and effort. The world's resources are more than adequate for all of us to live harmoniously and happily in this spellbinding planet of ours. I'm giving you a glimpse. I am spellbound. For now, a new African is upon us.
I'm gonna tease him every day now when I see him. I'm not done yet.
You're not done yet?
No.
Okay.
Pastor, you need to be free egg.
What are you doing here?
Please wait. I've got some of the pasta. No, because we have to sell it to you.
Right. Can you all hear me? Alright. Sometimes I wonder. I look all over the globe and I see people that look like me, some landowners, but most poor and oppressed. At least that's what I see on screen. I live on black man's land, but white is all I see, and that's not inherently horrible or even bad, but it makes me wonder, who's me? African. See, it's hard to be transplanted from your home and told you're whiter than your mom's Range Rover, you're whiter than the cliffs of Dover, but moreover, I'm blacker than my wheelie bin, and it shows, bruv, and I really think that since Mudawan blood flows through my veins, it's time that this young lion let his mane grow. See, we've all been transplanted in one way or another from where we came from. We converse in the tongue of our fairer-skinned brothers, and some of our homelands are far from our mothers, and that's where some of our pain's from, like new nations, Grenadians, Bahamians, Bajans, and Haitians, and older families, empires like Mali, Somalis, and those in Kigali, and from Khartoum to Rwanda, Benin to Uganda, Morocco, Rwanda, we all want an answer. Pambili, Amanda, a whole new Wakanda. So what are we to do? Mic check, 1, 2, break free of these chains that have been forced on us, but for too long we put our trust in outsiders only, or in wise old elders who say they know the answers we seek, but then things turn corrupt. Young Africans, if we want the real answer, it starts with us. But what are we ask? We look at black icons like Madiba, Freddie D, and Booker T and think, what am I doing to be in Dibukata history? And when we think about the solution, we say it's a mystery. All we do is look overseas and say, woe is me, wish it was me. But we don't need none of that. We can show all these Oyimbos and Kawajats, Muzungus and Mlungus that the Bundus, yeah, we're coming back. Throw on my anorak with a spice when they needed some aromat. Look at Zambia, the power of the young Democrat. Look at how democracy manifests. Stand proud like Simone Biles in an arabesque. Arms held high, alhamdulillah, that one was Arabic. And for time we've seen ebony and ivory at odds with each other. Quick to forget that even ivory comes from the continent and that we're all brothers and all the colors of the rainbow came from one beam of light from the eye of Mother Africa. And it's gotta come from you and come from me. When they ask if we're African, say yeah, and not begrudgingly. And elders acknowledge what we've got and guide us lovingly. For too long, youngins were seen and not heard, but now it's gonna be all of us as one, together, right through, whatever challenge may ensue. In Africa, we give the world no choice to be attentive to. A continent whose youth innovation will pursue. Where to, Vuga? Vuga where to? A brand new Africa. Africa anew. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moses, for those beautiful introduction. And Sisonke, thank you so much for that keynote speech. Mahali and I are going to give a reading. We're going to read some excerpts from the book. She will read from book 1 and book 3. I will read from book 2. Look, the reason why I've chosen her to do most of the reading is because this month in South Africa it's a women's month, and there is nobody that I honor so much like my daughter, and I think I've got a lot to give to her. I've dedicated myself as a father, first and foremost for her. If I can protect my daughter, I think I would have done so much as a symbol to protect the girl child in Africa and in the world. You know that Ria is my other, is really my right hand. So that's not debatable. But I've got that cultural and moral duty to look after this little girl here. Now let me give you a synopsis about the 3 books. The first book really tells you that in you there is a DNA of humankind that has with it the memory of where we come from. And that memory has been so immaculate, it's been so on point, that it has led us to here where we are. The memory in it carries all of that, all of humanity's history. Now what I'm trying to do in this book, in the first book, is to unpack all that memory, just to jog your memory in terms of where you come from. There is ample evidence that all humanity comes from Africa. If we believe we started with one person and we multiplied over time to where we are now. So humanity comes from Africa, and the book gives us a background. I'm trying to go as far as I can in terms of our history as mankind, to where we are now as Africa. And to make a point of how beautiful the motherland is, and how much we owe to the motherland. And that is really the first book. The second book, which I will be reading from, really is very technical. It's going to challenge our minds. It's a cognitive challenge. It makes us think again. What is our stance with regards to education, free health, infrastructure, and all the stuff that we need in order to make Africa prosper. But not just Africa, but in order to really balance the imbalances that we have in the world now. And really, if we can solve an African problem, I think that we can solve all of the third world problems. And the third book really is futuristic. It's helping us see what the future will look like 30 years from now. I remember 30 years ago, when I was maybe just a little bit older than Leah, just finished my high school, and looking forward, I would not have imagined myself here where I am. But it's been a very interesting evolution or growth. Remember at that time, we were still in the apartheid system. I never thought that we will be here where we are, where South Africa is a free country, and we have a chance to make Africa what we want it to be. So it's futuristic, this book, and it's helping us project into the next 30 years. Mahali, when you are my age, what will be a life look like, and how do we make sure that we make that a reality, the world that we want to see? How do we actually make sure that we put that in place? So book 3 is very, it's very uplifting that way. So I will give Hali a chance to read from book 1, and then I will read from book 2, and then she will finish from book 3.
I'll be reading from book 1, chapter 2. Mo Ibrahim said, "I need to be free to speak the unspeakable. You can't do that in office." According to archaeology, the origins of humanity has been proven to be in Africa through fossil studies. The cradle of humankind based just outside of Johannesburg, South Africa, and the cradle of humanity outside Arusha, Tanzania, are both designated UNESCO heritage sites. In 1959, at the Old Dubai Gorge, a steep-sided ravine in the Great Rift Valley located in the eastern Serengeti Plains within the Ngorongoro Conservation Area in the Arusha region, Louis Leakey and his wife Mary discovered the oldest human skull remains. This is the place known as the cradle of humanity. From 1935 to date, the largest number of fossils about the origins of mankind have been excavated from Stokefontein, also known as the cradle of humankind, located about 50 kilometers northwest of Johannesburg. Molapo said, "This 47,000-hectare site has unearthed the best evidence of the complex journey which our species has taken to make us what we are, and that is a place of pilgrimage for all mankind." Apart from being the birthplace of all mankind, Africa is a home and a breeding ground for dynamism and talent. Although some of her children have scattered across the globe in the last 500 years, they all still belong to the motherland. Through the traces of our ink and the echoes of our voices, Africa is calling all her children back home. Africa's history predates slavery and colonialism. The African land is interconnected through her intriguing lakes and river networks. Africa is one with nature and her resources. Africa knows no artificial boundaries designed by the Berlin Act of 1885. Africa prides herself with the nuances of her cultures, languages, and tribes. There are over 3,000 different tribes in Africa, but according to Tishkov, there are only 4 ethno-linguistic groups: the Afro-Asiatic, Khoisan, Niger-Congo, and Nilo-Saharan populations. In 2009, genetic clustering study identified 6 ancestral clusters in Africa. The clustering corresponded closely with ethnicity, culture, and language.
Thank you, Ali.
And say that for those who have dual citizenship, you are always carrying a duality in you because your passports are two, and therefore you are dual, because citizenship tells you so. And for those who are citizens of Australia in terms of their passport, but they are also the citizens of the motherland, then your duality is in your mindset and it's also in your spirit. And I would say all of us are dual.
It's a question I really struggle with. I think the unresolved issue of how Indigenous people are treated in this country, the continuing gap between Indigenous achievement and the rest of Australian society, including all of us immigrants who come with so much support and assistance and are often welcomed into this place, means that I am very ambivalent. I think it's a difficult thing, and I wish that we as Africans would have more conversations, do more outreach, be more generous, be more curious to reach out to Indigenous brothers and sisters who are, after all, not just people who we acknowledge at the beginning of our meetings, but actually who are the original custodians and with whom we have so much in common, actually. And so I think being able to really lean into that, to to explore. I have always found myself so welcomed when I have conversations with and develop relationships with indigenous people, particularly Noongar people, because that's the people that I know the most. And so I would urge all of us to find ways to do that in a really genuine spirit of friendship, because I think that's the only way that Australia is actually going to be a successful, real multicultural society.
Ria, have you got anything to say on this matter? Yes. If you don't, we'll pass.
Well, I guess like I relate to like that duality you talking about before, because it wouldn't even be duality, but like I like claim so many places that I'm from. Because like my dad's from South Africa, my mom's from Lesotho, I was born in England, I lived in Wales, now I'm here. Now my voice sounds like a weird amalgamation of everything. And I guess with all that, it's like made me realize that like there's never really like one place you can properly claim and say, oh, this is home, these people are only my people, and everyone else sort of like an addition to that. I think that like, yeah, because we all, I mean, it's quite globalized, like, we're like the most globalized we've ever been. And I guess because we all can connect on that way and on that level, it's like made us realize that like, we're all in the same position, we're all doing the, this like walk of life together. And like, for us to like claim Australianness, it's like the same as claiming our Africanness, because like we're like global citizens, so anywhere we go and anywhere we interact with, we can claim that as well.
Thank you very much. We're going to ask really briefly. I'm going to skip you those from Mahali. Just ask if you have any sort of comments on this. If not, then we'll come back to just very brief answer to this question before.
Mahali has got nothing to say, so we'll pass it. So silent is actually a very powerful word.
Defending it.
For your but I think for me, Moses, is that we are global citizens. We were born on Mother Earth, and our place is Mother Earth. And I guess this thing of sovereignty and citizenship and stuff like that, it's a very new thing in human history. I think we started carrying passports only in the 1940s or something like that. So it's a new thing. I think in as much as I'm saying we should break those borders in Africa, we must break them everywhere in the world. And I think that none of us should feel that we are second-class citizens anywhere in our planet. And yeah, you were born, all of us, we were born for a reason. Our worth remains infinite. And don't be hesitant to say your thoughts and to place your thoughts, because your contribution in the world is so important. Nobody can contribute what you yourself can contribute.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was thought-provoking. Somebody is some ideas that we've been thinking further, and no doubt it will be helpful if you do read the book. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to give a word? Thank you. A round of applause to the and on that note, I'd like to thank you all very much for coming.
I can't tell. I think it's good cow. What's this? Is this dessert? I don't know. I'll take some.
I'm saying, I'm not saying.
Bert, get a plate. Is it safer? Okay, where should we put that? The box, I feel like there's somewhere you can pull it.
Helen, you watched everything. Thank you so much for watching everything. Now don't forget to subscribe and go back to my other videos and scroll and scroll and scroll and watch everything. There's very good things in here, very good interesting things. You are number one. Number one. Now thank you and take care of yourself.